ont quitté l'Europe. Et dès lors, il me semble, d'après ce que vous nous avez dit, pensant que surtout M. Brok qui a fait apparaître les prétentions des Britanniques, je crois que les deux parties, bien évidemment, revoient leurs prétentions à la baisse, à situation nouvelle, l'Angleterre devenant effectivement un pays tiers à part entière, tout le monde devra en tirer les conséquences. Je note qu'il y aurait eu un sixième point qui est tout à fait important, soulevé par M. Flanagan, qui est de déterminer où seront les frontières. En France, en particulier à partir de Calais, après ces accords de Calais, pratiquement des milliers de migrants sont bloqués en France. Ils font le tour de France une fois, deux fois, parfois, de lieu en lieu d'hébergement dans une situation régulière pour certains, ceux qui sont demandeurs d'asile officiellement. Cela dure 14 à 16 mois, et puis à 90%, ils sont rejetés et repartent dans l'irrégularité pour de nouveau revenir à Calais dans des conditions sanitaires tout à fait inadmissibles à l'égard du respect que l'on doit aux hommes. Donc, effectivement, l'urgence sera quand même de négocier très clairement où seront nos frontières, et de cela, nous attendons beaucoup de vous. Nous vous remercions.
Thank you very much. Now, Madam McGuinness.
Thank you, Chair, and my thanks to both Mr. Verhofstadt and Brok for their presentation and for clearly asking us 5 questions on how. And the difficulty is that the answers to these questions can only come when we know what the United Kingdom will decide on. But I want to run through, in the short time available, some of the real consequences on patient safety, and others have addressed this around pharmaceuticals. For example, if you take the issue of access to medicines, there are 45 million patient packs supplied from the United Kingdom to EU 27 every month, 37 million in the reverse. So there is an integrated trade in these products, completely commonly organised. What will happen to that? I'm not sure if they would like to tell us what they think the UK want, because the more I speak to UK colleagues, the more I hear that they want to keep as close as possible, but how that will be achieved is the question for us. So on the issue of cross-border movement of qualifications, there are issues, particularly on the island of Ireland. We have had excellent cross-border healthcare through the European Union. How will this be impacted? I spent 3 hours with the Irish Medical Organisation going through very specific points on this issue. So I don't have the time to deal in detail, but I want to stress to all of our colleagues here that there are real patient safety issues if there is any divergence from the current system. I mean any divergence. The pharmaceutical industry have been in this Parliament in their droves trying to stress to us their need to stay within the current regime, including the EMA. Norway, we know, are party to all the agencies, party to all the expertise, but they don't have voting rights. So to answer the question of how, we have to hear what the UK are saying. This also applies to issues around environmental protection and food safety. And the question around food safety will really become very worrying when the United Kingdom, if it manages to achieve trade agreements with third parties when it is no longer part of the European Union, and how it will then change its standards around food safety. And the tragedy for us here is we're trying to negotiate in a vacuum. We have no idea what the United Kingdom really wants. I think we need to know we want to protect our citizens and our markets. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Leinen.
Ja, danke, Frau Vorsitzende. Wenn Großbritannien aus dem Binnenmarkt rausgeht, dann glaube ich, steht ja doch zu befürchten, dass wir andere Standards bekommen werden bei dem Umweltschutz, bei der Gesundheit, bei Lebensmittelsicherheit. Das ist ja von den Brexiteers vielfach angekündigt worden, dass sie andere Standards wollen. Und wir haben jetzt gerade aktuell die Tatsache, dass Theresa May unsere Ziele für Plastik widerspricht. Also wir haben ja viele Beispiele. Es wird also nicht besser, sondern es wird schlechter. Wir können natürlich, wie wir das bei anderen Handelsverträgen versucht haben, mit einem Regulatory Committee versuchen, möglichst eng zu halten. Aber da würde ich auch sagen, wir sind 27 Länder, Großbritannien ist ein Land. Es kann nicht sein, dass der Schwanz mit dem Hund wackelt, sondern eher der Hund mit dem Schwanz. Also es kann nicht sein, dass Großbritannien uns runterzieht oder irgendwo hinzieht, wo der große Block der 27 nicht hin will. Das muss man auch klar sagen. Ich will der Zeit wegen nur ein Thema ansprechen. Ich glaube, Großbritannien steigt dann auch aus dem Euratom-Vertrag aus. Und da ergeben sich ja viele Fragen, ja, weil die EU ist Besitzer des Nuklearmaterials. Wir haben Sicherheitsstandards für Atomkraftwerke, auch für den Atommüll, grenzüberschreitende Informationen bei Unfällen. Also wir haben da viele Fragen, die sich ergeben, wenn Sie auch aus dem Euratom-Vertrag aussteigen. Danke.
And it's not the last one, but Mr. Karl-Heinz Florenz.
Ja, wenn man so sich das hier anhört, dann wird ja wohl deutlich, dass wir erwarten, dass die Standards anders werden. Wenn die Standards anders werden, da frage ich mich, inwieweit denn die 27 Länder darauf vorbereitet sind, dass sie die Standards, die flacheren Standards aus Großbritannien denn dann prüfen können. Ich denke an den Chemiebereich, ich denke aber auch an Baustoffen, ich denke an die Verwendung von Asbest. Also sind die europäischen Länder, die 27, vorbereitet, ein neues Drittlandabkommen überhaupt zu kontrollieren?
Thank you. And Madame Cabezón-Ruiz.
Gracias, Presidenta. Bueno, comprendo que genere incertidumbre el tema de la salud, como otros temas que incumben al tema del Brexit y el Reino Unido. Pero yo de entrada creo que esa incertidumbre no tiene por qué significar que tenemos un gran problema. Yo creo que el problema fundamentalmente, a medida que hablamos con los diferentes representantes y personas que están afectadas del Reino Unido en la cuestión, yo creo que el problema realmente lo tiene el Reino Unido. El Reino Unido lleva tiempo, incluso podríamos decir, alejándose de nuestro modelo de salud de la propia Unión Europea, que podríamos decir que comparten, entre todos los países comparten una serie de estándares. Por lo tanto, yo de entrada creo que ya ellos se van alejando y creo que sería difícil llegar a un acuerdo en el que se garantice realmente o que ellos entren realmente por nuestros estándares. Y quiero decir esto con varias cuestiones. Si hablamos de profesionales sanitarios, son 144.000 los profesionales sanitarios que no son de nacionalidad británica que están allí, un 10% del profesional sanitario específico, un 14% de las enfermeras. Hace mucho tiempo que dejaron de formar a personal sanitario y lo captan de nuestros diferentes países. A día de hoy no me consta que haya habido ningún tipo de garantía a estos profesionales que se están planteando pues, su vuelta a los diferentes países. Y en ese sentido, yo cuando hablamos de reconocimiento de cualificaciones, yo creo que habría que abrir la puerta al retorno, a la facilitar ese reconocimiento de cualificación y probablemente veamos un movimiento de ficha del propio Reino Unido porque vemos que tiene que perder acceso a medicamentos e investigación. Investigación en el programa Marco de H2020 son receptores netos. En cuanto al tema de salud, la cuantía que se lleva es pues, el primer receptor en este sentido. Y gran parte de esta excelencia que tiene el propio Reino Unido se debe a nuestro programa Marco. Si hablamos de esa industria, que no sabemos si es el 70% o no en paralelo, porque está allí la EMA, yo no sé si es el 70%, pero muy importante sí que, y lo que necesitaríamos, como aquí se ha pedido, es conocerla. Pero como ya digo, sus relaciones con nosotros en temas de investigación les da precisamente el valor añadido que hoy pensamos que podemos perder. Y acceso a medicamentos. Después de Estados Unidos, somos el segundo mercado en el mundo. Por lo tanto, aquí ya se ha nombrado, las relaciones y los intereses van a ser mutuos. En definitiva, yo creo que el punto de partida tiene que ser los estándares de la Unión Europea como punto de partida en la negociación. Yo creo que nosotros no podemos perder nuestros estándares en el estado del bienestar y en la salud. Y a partir de ahí ya veremos si entrarían siquiera a negociar. Por lo tanto, menos incertidumbre o menos miedo y conozcamos los datos, estudios realmente para saber realmente cómo nos movemos, porque yo creo que nos faltan algunos que otros datos. Gracias.
Thank you very much. So this was the contribution of all members. And now back to you. First, Mr. Brook, comments on what you heard here as questions.
Thank you very much. I would like to take up a few points, not everything, and he will do the same and others together, but sorry that I have to leave then because I have a speech to deliver in my district.
That's important.
That's the most important part, close to the citizens. Ich glaube,
wenn ich das mal in Deutsch antworten darf. Die Übergangsregelung, und ich generalisiere ein bisschen noch die Fragen, bedeutet nach unserem Verständnis, es bleibt mit den Standards, den Regeln heute so, wie es ist. Das ist vielleicht etwas undifferenziert, aber im Grundsatz ist es so. Und danach gibt es, wenn es gelingt, das erfolgreich zu gestalten, ein Abkommen, das mit einem Drittland ausgehandelt wird. Das ist nicht die Fortsetzung bestehens, das ist etwas Neues. Ich habe das Gefühl manchmal, wenn ich Bemerkungen aus London höre und auch hier im Haus höre, dass die glühendsten Anhänger von Brexit jetzt erklären, dass alles so bleiben soll, wie es ist. Die britischen Papiere lesen sich manchmal wie ein Antrag auf Mitgliedschaft im europäischen Binnenmarkt. Mit Ausnahme der Übernahme der Verpflichtung, wie Free Movement of Labour, European Court of Justice und Money. Und ich habe hier wieder so einige Beispiele davon erlebt. Oder ich habe sie so verstanden. Und manche Argumentationen im Bereich der Pharmaprodukte versuchten uns das klarzulegen. Das ist dieselbe Argumentation, die wir Deutschen immer hören, wie könnt ihr hier Drittlandregelungen machen, wo doch BMW so viele Produkte nach England verkauft. Nein, das ist eine Vereinbarung mit einem Drittstaat. Wer Brexit entschieden hat, muss auch die Konsequenzen von Brexit tragen, weil das sonst unfair gegenüber allen anderen ist. Und das müssen wir sauber machen, allerdings gleichzeitig ist unsere Offenheit da, unter dieser Bedingung eine konstruktive Lösung zu finden. Und unter Anerkennung ist die weitgehende Lösung. Ich glaube, Großbritannien lehnt ab die Norwegen-Lösung, also European Economic Area, mit den Commitments, sie legt Zollunion ab, weil die Verpflichtungen daraus nicht übernehmen will und will einen Freihandelsvertrag. Aber dann am liebsten den Plus, dass das, was im Binnenmarkt ist, wieder reinkommt ohne die Verpflichtung. Und ich glaube, dass wir beim Überblick über das Gesamttableau der Themen dieses im Auge behalten müssen, dass wir nicht durch die Detailregelung de facto die britische Mitgliedschaft im Binnenmarkt haben und Großbritannien frei ist von den Verpflichtungen, die damit zu tun haben. Zweiter Punkt. Wir können beim Handelsvertrag je großzügiger sein im gemeinsamen Interesse, denn Brexit schadet beiden Seiten, aber aufgrund der unterschiedlichen Größenordnung Großbritannien mehr, solange Großbritannien die Standards bewahrt. Und Jolaine hat die Frage des Regulatory Committee angesprochen. Wir haben das schon bei TTIP diskutiert. Ich bin gegen ein Regulatory Committee, welche Regeln für uns verpflichtend festlegt, ohne dass das Parlament daran beteiligt ist. Jede dieser Regelungen muss bedeuten, dass die Souveränität dieses Hauses als Gesetzgeber gewahrt bleibt und nicht Beamte zwischen London und Brüssel Standards aushandeln. Das muss völlig klar sein. Und wenn Großbritannien sagt, wir möchten unsere Autonomie bei Festlegen von Standards haben und weg von Europa ist es mir bisher noch nicht intellektuell gelungen zu verstehen, wenn man gleichzeitig dieselben Standards behalten will. Damit es der Handel und Wandel ohne Schwierigkeiten abläuft. Und da hoffe ich, dass die nächsten Wochen und Monate mir durch die britischen Vorschläge hilft, das zu verstehen. Bis jetzt kann man das nicht verstehen, aufgrund der Vorschläge. Und deswegen würde ich mich auch nicht in Einzelfreiheiten auf einen falschen Weg einlassen, indem man plötzlich einkassiert ist. Und ich glaube, dass wir die Fragen, die Michael Gove später zum Ausdruck gebracht hat, mehr Umweltschutz. Michael Gove, der ja einer der fanatischsten Brexit-Anhänger ist, hat immer hauptsächlich erklärt, er wolle weg von dieser europäischen Bürokratie. Wir jetzt gerade in dem Bereich, den diese Leute immer Umweltschutz als einen der größten Teile der Bürokratie bezeichnet haben, jetzt höhere Standards erreichen wollen als in der Europäischen Union, habe ich auch noch nicht ganz verstanden. Wenn es aber denn so sein sollte, soll es mir recht sein. Aber was ist da Propaganda und was nicht? Und wenn ich das mit den Randstreifen hier gehört habe, in Landwirtschaft und so weiter, gehört das, glaube ich, alles ein bisschen in diese Kategorie hinein. Wir sollten auch deutlich machen, dass wir bei der Qualität von Produkten das Verhältnis von Großbritannien so prüfen und einhalten, den Zugang von Produkten da ist und Produktfeldern da ist, wie wir das gegenüber jedem anderen Drittland machen. Wenn aber hier jemand vorgeschlagen hat, dass man European Medical Agency nutzen kann, dass Großbritannien dort Mitglied werden kann, dann muss Großbritannien, ohne Mitglied des Governance zu sein, bereit sein, dasselbe Maß an Geld zu bezahlen wie jeder andere. Ähnliche Diskussionen werden wir bei Europol haben, Beispiel zu sagen. Ohne Mitglied des Governance sein, Geld zahlen, dann kann man die Kooperation dafür machen. Wenn wir das machen, anders kann das nicht funktionieren, wenn man den entsprechenden Beitrag zahlt. Ich habe beispielsweise heute in einem Gespräch, oder gestern war es mit der norwegischen Botschafterin gehört, dass die beispielsweise bei Horizon oder bei Erasmus genau GDP zahlen ihren Beitrag wie ein normales Mitgliedsland des Europäischen Union. Und das muss dann gewährleistet sein. Aber wenn man auch diesen Agencies in diesen Bereichen oder bestimmte Bereiche nur die Sache rauspickt, wo man Vorteile hat, muss man auch mal in einer Generalfrage das überlegen. Ich finde es wichtig, dass wir im Bereich von Forschung und Horizon, wo Pharmaceuticals mit hineingehören, die Kooperation bewahren. Die Forschungsgemeinschaften, Universitäten und Private weiter kooperieren wollen, auch mit Großbritannien, das sicherlich nicht allein mehr kritische Masse besitzt, um weltweit erfolgreich zu sein, aber gemeinsam mit uns höchst wichtig wäre, dies zu erreichen. Aber da gegenwärtig, glaube ich, 20 oder 25% der Horizon-Mittel nach Großbritannien fließen, wäre natürlich die Mitgliedschaft von Großbritannien unter gegenwärtigen finanziellen Regelungen von höchstem Vorteil. Darüber muss verhandelt werden, wie man das in so einem Bereich in ein vernünftiges Verhältnis hineinbekommt. 1/4 des gesamten Horizonsgelds für Forschung geht nach Großbritannien. Und das müssen sich die Brexiteers überlegen, wie wir das Problem lösen können. Und ich glaube, das sind die bitteren Fakten, mit denen wir uns auseinanderzusetzen haben. Herr Flanagan, Ihre politische Gruppe ist Mitglied des Brexit Steering Group und ist von daher in allem eingeweiht. Und gibt es nichts, was von Ihrer politischen Gruppe ferngehalten wird. Und ich glaube aber auch, dass wir hier gute Zusammenarbeit haben können. Und wenn ich nochmal die Fragen ansprechen kann, die Herr Taylor mit Animal Welfare ansprechen. Ich verstehe, dass Animal Welfare Bestandteil der europäischen Standards ist, sowohl aus Environmental Reasons als auch aus Gründen von Food Safety. Und dass dies genauso wie alle anderen in der Festlegung von Standards gehört. Wenn Produkte hier geliefert werden, die zustande kommen in einem Zusammenhang des Animal Welfare nicht im Rahmen europäischer Standards erfüllt, gibt es hier ein Problem. Und das müssen wir, glaube ich, entsprechend in Zusammenhang sehen. Also, ich meine, Karl-Heinz Florenz, vorher auch Peter Liese haben das angesprochen mit der Überprüfung der Standards. Ich finde es ganz interessant, vielleicht sollten wir uns da separat mal darüber unterhalten, was die Anwendung von REACH bedeutet im Zusammenhang Großbritannien, Europäische Union. Das ist vielleicht ein Musterfall, wie Kooperation erreicht werden kann und gleichzeitig Standards gesichert werden im gleichen gemeinsamen Interesse. Aber ich möchte darum bitten, nicht immer zu sagen, zwischen Großbritannien und den 27 Mitgliedstaaten. Mehrfach hier gesagt worden, ist ein Verhältnis zwischen Großbritannien und der Europäischen Union. Damit niemand auf die Idee kommt, Special Agreements zu machen. Das sollten wir auch für uns immer klar machen, um auf diese Art und Weise die Fragen im gemeinsamen Interesse zu lösen. Der Jolain hat einen wichtigen Punkt angesprochen, das ist Euratom. Nicht nur wegen des Eigentums von nuklearem Material, sondern auch die Frage der Überprüfung, der Sicherheitsüberprüfung. Was das bedeutet, das scheint mir noch ein ziemlich ungelöstes Problem von weitreichender Bedeutung zu sein. Und das wird sicherlich ein spezielles Verhandlungskapitel sein, was der Austritt von Euratom bedeutet wird in allen ökonomischen und umweltpolitischen und Sicherheitsüberlegungen, um das entsprechend hinzubekommen. Ich bin der Auffassung, dass wir ohnehin die Detailberatungen kommen müssen. Also sagen wir so, wir machen jetzt die Guidelines für die zweite Phase. Die Verhandlungen sind ja erste Phase, ist der Scheidungsvertrag, der bis März 19 in Kraft treten muss. Gleichzeitig muss dem die Vereinbarung über die Transitional Period erreicht sein, damit es nicht nachher so am nächsten Tag knallt. Eine Transitional Period soll genutzt werden, damit wir 2 Jahre oder was auch immer mehr Zeit haben, einen anständigen Vertrag wie zukünftige Beziehung auszuhandeln. Und dass wir, glaube ich, in dem Zusammenhang deutlich sehen müssen, ich wiederhole mich, ob dann, im März 2019 ist Großbritannien Drittstaat, auch wenn es Sondervereinbarungen über die Übergangsregelung hat. Deswegen finden die Verhandlungen über die zukünftigen Beziehungen mit Großbritannien als Drittstaat statt. Mit allen Konsequenzen, die damit verbunden sind, damit hier kein Missverständnis und keine falschen Hoffnungen entstehen. Und wenn ich mir die schnodderige Bemerkung erlauben kann, zusammen mit der Frage die Grenze, Migration und Großbritannien bei dem Brexit, Diskussion, Referendum, der Kampf darum, hat man ja erklärt, dass die Europäische Union für die Migrationsfrage in Großbritannien verantwortlich ist. Ist ja die Free Movement of Labour aus der Europäischen Union, insbesondere aus Polen, vermixt worden mit Flüchtlingen aus Syrien und Irak. Frankreich hat große Anstrengungen unternommen in Calais. Großbritannien, das nicht im Schengen-System ist und da immer schon Kontrolle über die Außengrenzen hatte, die muss man nicht mehr herstellen, die hat Großbritannien nie aufgegeben. Hat Frankreich Großbritannien geschützt und hat die Leute nicht durchgelassen. Sehr problematisch für Großbritannien. Nach Brexit besteht diese Verpflichtung von Frankreich nicht mehr. Da muss Großbritannien das Problem selbst bewältigen. Das wird keine Verpflichtung der Europäischen Union oder Frankreichs in Zukunft sein. Das müssen sich die Brexit-Anhänger klar vor Augen halten. Dankeschön.
Thank you, Mr. Brock. Now, Mr. Verhofstadt.
Now, if I listen to Mr. Brock, this committee covers everything, even the Touquet agreement between France and Britain. That said, we have used, and Elmar also, and many of you, many times the word third country. And Mr. Dance was not pleased that that we, and I should say with reason. The reason is very simple why we use it. It's not our choice. It's a choice by Britain and by the UK. If the UK, for example, says, yeah, freedom of movement is not possible, yeah, then an EEA solution is not possible. A Norway solution is not possible. When Britain says there can be no oversight by the ECJ, yeah, then an Ukraine solution is not possible because there is an oversight by the ECJ. When Britain says we want to regain all authority and all sovereignty to do the trade deals, then a customs union is not possible. The reason why we are talking about this is not a choice by us, it's a choice by them. It's their red lines we make that we go from a full membership to an EEA, not possible, to a customs union, not possible, to, and so on and so on. And that we talk today about an agreement with a third country. So there are the red lines who are indicating what we have on our table, and not a will or a choice from the 27 to say we want this or we want that. The only thing what cannot happen is that we gonna create a situation also on environmental standards But that's the same for everything. If I talk about financial services, it's exactly the same reasoning. That is at the end completely undermining our union. In the way that, for example, now the UK is one of the 28. When we talk about environmental standards, they are sitting in the European Parliament, they are sitting in the Commission, they are sitting in the agencies, they are sitting in the Council of Experts, and they are working with the other 27, and together they make an agreement. And it could be from time to time that there is a blocking minority in which Britain can play sometimes, or some examples of that, a key role, but that's the way it works. What we're gonna not allow is that this system is replaced by a bilateral system in which for every environmental standard we have an EU 27 agreement and we're gonna negotiate it with the UK. Then we can give up the European Union. Because that is giving the signal to everybody, go out and you gain power, you gain authority. And there will be on every environmental standard, on every standard on health service, a bilateral agreement between EU 27, so the European Union of the future, and UK. That will not happen. We will not allow it. Not in environmental standards, not in financial service, in no sector of the European Union we will allow it. Because that is undermining the Union. And that's creating a new system in which a country is part of 28 and you replace it by a bilateral system in which those who go out gain a sort of a power to make bilateral deals with the European Union. The system has to be that the EU 27 autonomy to decide on these standards is completely intact, doesn't change. There will be in the future consultations with the UK in the transition. There will be in the future arbitration system with UK under the new system in the future relationship. If there are disputes with them, what we will never do is to undermine the autonomy of the 27 to decide on these standards and to apply these standards. So consultation in the transition, yes. Arbitration in the future relationship, yes. All this will be possible, but not the capacity and the autonomy of the 27 to decide on these issues, and then to ask to our counterparts, and our counterpart will be the UK, to apply them. And so there can be consultation on it, but there can be not an outsourcing of our autonomy of the 27, including European Parliament, to a new type of EU-UK autonomy deciding body, because that should be an outsourcing of our power, of our autonomy to another body. That will not happen. And I'm telling that because it is the same problem that, because I hear, as Elmar Brok hears it, everybody says, yeah, we want to keep everything like it is. No, it cannot be like that. That's impossible. And we cannot use this whole debate to diminish the power and autonomy of the European Union. Second point, we will never allow that the standards of the European Union will be lowered. That will the benchmark. The benchmark will be our standards, as we do always when we are talking about a relationship with another country, needs to be intact. That are the benchmark. Never lowering our standards, and these standards needs to be in place. And this cannot be an exercise for a race to the bottom, to a race to lower these standards. And can be health standards, but it can be also the dance and labor standards, because that's another issue, not in this committee, but in other committees. Third element that has been said, how to enforce it. There will be a specific system, that's clear. We have that in every agreement, with every third country, a specific system of arbitrage, but when it concerns the interpretation of union law, that will not be the arbitration who's going to do that. That's going to be the European Court of Justice who's going to do it. When it concerns an interpretation of union law, it will be only the European Court of Justice who is competent to do so. And that will be independent from the arbitration. Arbitration, for example, can at a certain moment, when it concerns an interpretation of union law, they have to refer to the European Court of Justice. We will not allow that the interpretation of union law will be outsourced to an arbitration body outside the acquis of the European Union and outside the structure of the European Union. And then on the transition, Mrs. Gerling, the transition is part of the withdrawal. It will not be a separate issue. It will be part of the withdrawal, Article 50. That's one of the reasons that this transition cannot last 10 years, for example, because then it's not longer a transition, and then it's in fact not possible to make it part of the withdrawal. It can only be part of the withdrawal when this transition is limited in time. That's the reason why the negotiator of the European Union, Mr. Barnier, says until 2020, and we say maybe a little bit longer, a maximum of 3 years. But it will be part of the withdrawal. So when the conclusion or the agreement arrives here in the Parliament in October of this year, it will be Article 50 withdrawal, including transition, with eventually probably an annex. An annex will be a political declaration on the future relation. So I think, and I'm going a little bit faster now in the different remarks that have been made. I think it's absolutely also clear that solutions needs to be found, but we know them. We have, for example, in the research, we have in Euratom, we have in EMA examples of how it works already with third countries, and we have these templates also to apply them in the case of Britain. Last remark to Mr. Flanagan, who said, yeah, are you the good negotiator because you're a federalist? Well, I'm in good company. Monet was a federalist, Schuman was a federalist, I'll say De Gasperi was a federalist. In my opinion, even Churchill was a federalist. He was a Brit, so I don't think that's a problem. And that I have said that some countries are dwarfs in the future world, all European countries are dwarfs. The only way to avoid that is to work together in the European Union. And that's not my invention. I think it was Paul Henri Spaak who said that. We are all dwarfs. Some know it, some for the moment have not the knowledge to know it, but they're gonna know it very fast. And I think that's the reality. So I think that absolutely key is that we receive, if possible, Chair, on the 5 questions that I have put forward, maybe I can also, or the services of the committee can launch them again to all members of your committee. It should be very important that we have your opinion about that. We're going to take that on board in the resolution. And Mr. Flanagan, I did that before. The resolution is not written. The resolution will be written at the end of February, at the moment that we receive from your committee the suggestions to put into the ENVI chapter. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
We thank you very much also. So we invite you to come again.
With pleasure.
We'll have new steps in this long path of Brexit. So thank you very much again, President. See you the next time. Thank you.
Florence asks if you can welcome his group of
What is says University of? Well, colleagues, if you prepared your voting cards, can you arrange this? I think it gives a bad aspect. Then we will start the voting session. Before that, I want to say hello, to salute a group of students, guests of Mr. Florence, from the University of Kleve, present today in our committee meeting together with Professor Sicking. So welcome. First item on our voting list is the well-known effort sharing file. We vote electronically. The vote is open. EPP one too many. Okay. The vote is closed. And it is adopted. Congratulations. Then we can vote on LULUCF. Single vote electronically. The vote is open. Again, EPP one too many. Still one too many. Can we settle that so we can move? Someone withdraw a card in EPP? Thank you very much. It is the vote closed and it is adopted. Congratulations. This one? Next vote is an oral question to the Commission on vaccine hesitancy and the drop in vaccination rates in Europe. The vote is open. And the vote is closed. And it is adopted. The same thing, same topic, oral question to the Council, vaccine hesitation. The vote is open. And it's closed. And it is adopted, of course. Something. No, take this one. Okay, I take this one. Next vote is on the draft report, monitoring and reporting of CO2 emissions from and fuel consumption of new heavy-duty vehicles. Amendment 15, who is in favor? Against? Check. The vote is open. That's an X here. It's closed. It is adopted. Then 95 falls. 94. Who is in favor of 94? Against? Abstentions rejected. 96 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 97 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 98 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 99 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 102 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 103 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 104 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 105 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 106. No? We don't vote on it, yeah? Okay. 16. Who is in favor of 16? Against? Abstentions adopted. Tron 16. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. Compromise 10 in favor. Against? Check. The vote is open. And it's closed. And it is adopted. Amendment 118, 118, in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 119 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 120 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 121 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 122 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 123 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 18 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 124 in favor, against, abstentions, check 124. The vote is open and 124, and the vote is closed. Adopted. 125 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 127? 127 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 128 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Tran 19 in favor, against, check Tran 19. Vote is open and it's closed. It is adopted. Compromise 12 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 131 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 7 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 137 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 138 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 8 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Compromise 9 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Amendment 23, 150 to 153 and 123, they are identical. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 154 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 24, Tran 24 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 155, Tran 25, Amendment 25 and 26 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 156 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 157 in favor, against, abstentions adopted.
We need to vote on 26, I think.
It's part of the package previously. It's identical with this one. Yeah? Where are now? 158, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. 27 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 159 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 160 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 161 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 162 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 11 in favor, against. I'm talking about the compromise, yes? It is adopted. 173 and 74 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 175 in favor, against, abstentions. Check 175. The vote is open and is closed. Rejected. Amendment 28 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 184 in favor, against, abstentions Check 184. The vote is open. And the vote is closed. Adopted. 185 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 186 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 187 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 188 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Tran 1 in favor. Against. Abstentions. Who is in favor of Tran 1? So it is adopted. Tran 2 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Compromise 1 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 37 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 38 in favor. Check 37. The vote is open on 37. And the vote is closed. Rejected. 38 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 39 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 41 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. Tran 6 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Compromise 2 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 43 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 44 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 46 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 47 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. Compromise 3 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Amendment 4 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 53 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 55 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 56 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 5 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 57 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 58 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. Compromise 4 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 7 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 63 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 64 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 65 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 66 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 67 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. It failed? No. Tran 11 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 8 in favor. Against. Abstentions. Check 8. The vote is closed. It's adopted. 9 in favor. Against. Abstentions. I haven't seen EPP, I'm sorry. So again, 9, yeah? 9 in favor. Against. Abstentions. Check 9. The vote is open. The vote is closed. Adopted. 70. Who is in favor? Against. Abstentions rejected. 71 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. Compromise 5 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 77 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 11 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 79, 80 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. No, that falls. 12 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 87. No, compromise 6 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 87 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Let's check this one. The vote is open and is closed. It is adopted. 14, 88, 89, 90, 14. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 91 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. Tron 15 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 92 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 93 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. Draft report as amended. Who is in favor? Oh, electronically. I'm sorry. It is open. The vote is open. And the vote is closed. And it is adopted. Now we have to vote on the mandate to open the interinstitutional negotiations. Again, electronically, the vote is open. And is closed. Or maybe they are thinking what to do. Now it's closed. It is adopted. Yet, that's not for applause, huh? Half. That's a not strong one.
It's a lead. It's a lead.
Huh? Yeah, that's not a strong one. Next one is, it looks consistent. Madame Ayuso. Huh? So we are voting on labeling of spirit drinks. Amendment 159, who is in favor? Against? Wow, we have to check, so let's open the vote. 159, exactly the first one, but it's completely split, so I couldn't see. Where is the majority now? It's closed. And it is rejected. Now, Amendment 2, 160, Agri 12. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 161 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. Amendment 3, Agri 13 and 14 or not? No. Only these two. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Agri 14 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 162 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 163 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 164 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. Who's talking? Can you? Yeah. Amendment 4. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 165 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. 166, 167, 168, and so on. 169 and 170. We stop here. Yes. Okay, so 167 and 168, since 166 was withdrawn. So who is in favor of these two? And I apologize. It was not clear. No one. Against? It's rejected. You voted 167 and 168. Now, 169 and 170. Who is in favor? against, abstentions adopted. Agri 16 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 171 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 172, 173 and Agri 17, who is in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Agri 18 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 174 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Agri 19 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 175 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 1 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Agri 21 and INTA 6 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 177 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Who said that? Okay. The vote is open. Okay, no, it might be, it might be that you are right. The vote is closed. So you see some, I wanted to know who was so wrong. Okay, 178, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. 179, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, 179, I'm sorry, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 180, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 181, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. 5 and Agri 22, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 182 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 183 and 184, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Okay, let's open the vote. 183, 184. The vote is closed. It is adopted. Amendment 6 and Agri 23, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 185, 186, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, check this one. The vote is open and the vote is closed. It is adopted. 187, Agri 24, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, you didn't vote. 187, Agri 24, show your hands, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, let's check this one. The vote is open. The vote is closed. Adopted. Package on sugar content. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions? Adopted. Amendment 190 in favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 191 in favor.
False. False.
191, who is in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 192 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 194, who is in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 195 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 10, who is in favor, against, abstentions adopted. This is the yellow one. 222, 23, 24, 25. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions, check. It's a package, 222, 23, 24, yeah? 222, 223, 224, 225. The vote is open. Everyone voted, it's closed, and it's rejected. 221 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 226 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 227 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 228 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 229 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 230 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 231 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Agri 31 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 8, that falls. Agri 32 in favor, against, abstentions, check Agri 32. The vote is open. And it's closed. Rejected. Agri 33 in favor, against, abstentions. Please show your hands. Agri 33 in favor, against, abstentions, adopted. Agri 34 in favor, against, abstentions, adopted. A block 232, 33, Inter 9, and Agri 35 in favor, against, abstentions, adopted. 234 until 237, Inter 10 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 238 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. Agri 36 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 239 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 240, 242 in favor, against, abstentions, adopted. 241 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 243 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 244 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 245 in favor, against, abstentions, adopted. 247, who is in favor, against, abstentions, adopted. 38 and 248, who is in favor, against, abstentions, adopted. 249 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 250 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 251 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 252 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 253 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 254 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 255 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 256 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 258 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 257 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 259 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 267 in favor, against, abstentions, rejected. 260, who is and 261 and 261, who is in favor, against, abstentions. I haven't seen ALDE this time. So 260 and 261, please. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions, check. So even if I saw you, I can't call. The vote is open and the vote is closed. It is rejected. 262, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, rejected. 264 in favor, against, abstention, rejected. 263 and Agri 39, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, adopted. 268, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, adopted. 266, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 11, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 275, 76, 77, and 78, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 274, who is in favor? Against? Check this one, 274. The vote is open. The vote is closed. It is rejected. 279, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. Compromise 12, amendment in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 283 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. Compromise 2 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 13 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 302 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 303 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 304 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. Compromise 3 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 4 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 305 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 50 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 51 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 17 INTA 17 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Agri 52 and INTA 18 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 5 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 9 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 6 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 312 and Agri 56, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Agri 57 and INTA 22 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 314 and Agri 58, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 313 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 13 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 316 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 317 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 320 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 318 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 319 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 321 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 322 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 323 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 324 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 325 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 326 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 327 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 14 and INTA 23 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 328 and 329 in favor? Against? Abstentions. Who is against? It's adopted. 330, who is in favor? That falls. Compromise 15, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 336, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 337 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 338 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 339 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 340 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 341 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 342 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. INTA 25 in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 16, 343 and INTA 26 in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 17, 344, Inta 27 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 18, Inta 28 and 345 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 19, 346, Inta 29 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Agri 61 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Intra 30 in favor, against, abstentions, check Inta 30. The vote is open. Inta 30. And the vote is closed. Rejected. 347 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 348 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Agri 62 in favor, against, abstentions. I couldn't see. Who is in favor of Agri 62? Against, abstentions rejected. 20, Inta 32 and Amendment 349. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 350 in favor, against, abstention rejected. Agri 63 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 21, Inta 33 and 351. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Inta 34 and Agri 64. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Compromise 16 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Agri 66 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 357 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 358 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Agri 67 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 359 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Amendment 23, Inta 37, and that's it. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 360 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Inta 38 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 7 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Compromise 17 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 371 in favor, against, abstention rejected. 27 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 372 false. 373 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. This one? Agri 70 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 374 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 375 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 376 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 8 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Amendment 28 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 29 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 30 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Compromise 18 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 393, who is in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 31 and Agri 74 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 394 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 396 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 397 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 397, the vote is open. And it's closed. Rejected. You want to check 396 too? Let's check 396 too. The vote is open. And it's closed. and it is rejected. Amendment 32, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Agree, no, this falls. We go to 401, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. 402, 403, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. All this is to be voted? Yes. We check 402, 403. The vote is open. It's noisy, so I can't concentrate very well. It's closed. It is adopted. I apologize. So it's adopted. Very well. Then we don't vote on the others. So thank you for the suggestion.
We have to.
It's adopted.
False.
False.
If it's adopted, but it's 181.
Oh, it was not this one.
No. That's why they equalized it.
Okay, 405. Who is in favor? Against. So again, 405. Who is in favor? Against. Abstentions. Let's check 405. I can't see for you. It's adopted. Vote is open and is closed. 404. Who is in favor? False. Amendment 33 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 406. 406 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 407 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 409 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 408 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Agri 76 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Agri 77 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 410? 410 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 411 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Agri 78 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Agri 79 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Agri 80 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 412 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 413 in favor. Against. Abstentions rejected. 414 and 415 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. Technical compromise. Annex 2. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Page 38, we vote on Amendment 418. Who is in favor? 418. Against? Abstentions adopted. 421 in favor. Against. Abstentions adopted. 422 in favor. Against. Abstentions check 422. 422. It was a delay in hands. It's adopted. Okay, we'll move to 423. Who is in favor? Against. Abstentions rejected. Check. 423. The vote is open. It's closed. Rejected. 424 in favor. Against. Abstentions. I can't call. 424, who is in favor? Against. Abstentions adopted. 426 in favor. Against. Mr. Dance is doing like that, so tell me. Okay, 426, so who is in favor of 426? Thank you very much, it is adopted. 428, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 430, 4, 31, 32, 33. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 437 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 430. No, these are falling. Good. Compromise 19. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 440 first part. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Yes, 440 first part. The vote is open, but it's EPP and S&D voting similar. It's closed and it is adopted. Agri 90, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 442, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. $442? Okay, or I can ask you again if you wish. 442, but show your hands. I have nothing against an amendment. Everyone votes in favor of that? Okay, so it is adopted. I apologize to Mr. Pieka, but no hand was raised, a part of yours, so. We go to compromise 20. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions? Adopted. 448. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 449 and Agri 96. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 450 in favor. Against? Check 450. The vote is open. And now the vote is closed. It is adopted. 43. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 454. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 459 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 44 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 460 and 461. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 462 and 463 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 464 and 465 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 466 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 467 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 46 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 49 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 468 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 58 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 469 in favor. Against? Abstentions rejected. Compromise 21 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 472 in favor. 472 in favor. Against? Abstentions check. The vote is open. And the vote is closed. Rejected. Compromise 22 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. Amendment 59 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. Amendment 516 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. Amendment 70 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 517 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. Agri 100 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 518 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 519 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. 71 in favor. Against? Abstentions adopted. Agri 101 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 520 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 75 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 76 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 77 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 78 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 79 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 80 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Would you want to do a block vote until 88 on the package of Madame Dornano? Yeah? From 81 to 88. It's possible for all the groups to vote, yeah, in block? Then this block from 81 to 88, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected, all of them. Then we have 96, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Agri 1 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 89, who is in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 90 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 91 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Then 92 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 93 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 94 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 95 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 97 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 98 in favor, against, abstentions. I think this is adopted, but maybe it was, let's check 98. The vote is open. And it's closed. And it's rejected. Agri 2, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 99 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 100 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 108 in favor, against, abstention rejected. 109 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 101 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Agri 3 in favor, against, abstentions, let's check. Agri 3, no? Agri 3, the vote is open. And the vote is closed. And it is adopted. 102 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 120 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 103 in favor and 104 in favor, against, abstentions, check this 103, 104. The vote is open and the vote is closed and it is rejected. 105 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. I propose you again a block from 106 to 115, if it's possible in your voting lists. Yeah, thank you very much. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions? I asked if it is possible in your voting list, and people said yes, but you said no, I didn't hear you. Then, okay, so let's call it, no, if we have an opposition, then we go one by one. So, who is that, Mr.? Pedicini. So, Mr. Pedicini proposed that. 106, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 107 is favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 110 in favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 111 in favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 112 in favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 113 in favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 114 in favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 115 in favor. Against? Abstentions? Rejected. 117 and 118 and 119, who is in favor? Against? abstentions rejected. 116, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. 121 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 122 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 123 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 124 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 125 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 41, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Compromise 42, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 132, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. 133, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. Agri 6 and Intra 3, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 135 and Agri 7, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 137, he is in favor. Against, abstentions rejected. 138, who is in favor? Against, abstentions rejected. Inta 4, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Agri 8, in favor. I'm sorry, apparently this falls. So we go to Agri 10, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 140 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 141 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 142 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 143 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 144 in favor, against, check 144, the vote is open. And the vote is closed. And it is adopted. Compromise 14, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Compromise 43 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 154 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 155 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 156 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 157 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 158 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Electronically final vote. The vote is open. And it's closed. And it is adopted. Bravo. Congratulations, Madam Ayuso.
Oh, no, still a few small ones.
We still have
No, more than one.
more than one.
Yes.
How many?
I would say there are the 6 discharged. So it's like 7, 8. But they are small.
Again, 7, 8 votes, huh? Okay, so on the next MFF, preparing the Parliament's position on the MFF post-2020, Rapporteur Madame Yatemaki. Compromise 1, who is in favor? Against, abstentions, adopted. Compromise 2, in favor? Against, abstentions, adopted. Amendment 16, in favor? Against, abstentions, check 16. The vote is open. And it's closed. If everyone voted. And it is adopted. 17 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 18 in favor, against, abstentions, check 18. The vote is open. And it's closed. It is adopted. 19 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 20 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 26 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 27 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 28 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 31. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. I don't know. Check 31. Check 31. And it is closed. And it is rejected. 32. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 34. In favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 35 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 37 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 36 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 38 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 39 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 40 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 41 until 45, identical. Who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 46 in favor. Against? Abstentions check 46. The vote is open. And the vote is closed. And it is adopted. 47 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 49 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. No, it's not, it's the opposite, rejected. I apologize. 50 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 53 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 51 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 52 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 54 in favor, against, abstentions check 54. It's adopted, I apologize. And now I see it's adopted. 55 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 57 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Compromise 3 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 58, number 58 is covered? No, it's covered. 65 and 67 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 66 and 66, 70, 74, 75 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 68 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 71 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Compromise 4 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 82 in favor, against. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the color, it's the fault of the color. Compromise 5 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 82 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 83 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 85 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 86 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 87 in two parts. First part, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Second part, in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 88 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 89 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 90 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 91 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 92 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 93 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 94 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Final vote electronically. The vote is open. And it's closed. And it is adopted. Next.
Next. Yeah.
Next two or
Yeah,
next
and then-
one?
No, next two.
Two of them?
It's two different points, 14 and then.
Okay. So, a European strategy in comparative intelligent transport. Amendment 1, who is in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 2, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 2, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 3, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 1, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 6, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. Compromise 5, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 13, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 14, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 15, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 16, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. Compromise 4, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 6, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 19, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 21, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 22, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 23, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 24, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 26, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 32, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Compromise 7, in favor? Against? Abstention adopted. Amendment 38, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 39, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 40, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 42, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 42. 43 or 42?
42. We do with 42. We just.
Okay, I apologize. 43, in favor?
It was put to vote.
She says we put it to vote. I wanted to say 42, but apparently we voted on
It was
it.
adopted. It was adopted. It was
Yeah,
adopted. I have
it was adopted. Then we moved to 43, in favor? Against? Abstentions rejected. 45, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 46, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. 48, in favor? Against? Abstentions adopted. Final vote electronically. The vote is open. And it's closed. And it is adopted. Now we vote on European Semester for Economic Policy Coordination Annual Growth Survey 2018. Amendment 1, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 2, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 3, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 4, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 5, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 6, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 7 in 2 parts. Part 1, who is in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Part 2, in favor, against, abstentions check. Part 2. The vote is open. And it is closed. And it is adopted. Amendment 8, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 9, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 10, in favor, against, abstentions check. 10. The vote is open. And it is closed. And it is adopted. 11 in 2 parts. First part, who is in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Part 2, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 12, in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 13 in 3 parts, first part, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. Part 2 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Part 3 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Amendment 14 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 15 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 16 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 17 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 18 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 19 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 20 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Let's do it again. 20 in favor, it's totally adopted. 21 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 22 in favor, against, abstentions. I check 22. The vote is open. And it is closed. It is adopted. 23. Who is in favor of 23? Against? Abstentions rejected. 24 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 25 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Final vote electronically. The vote is open. And it is closed. And it is adopted.
Now we only have the discharge, which is very short votes. 6, but short.
We vote on discharge now. The Commission first. The Commission. Amendment 1 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 2 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 3 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 4 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 5, paragraph 6A, amendment 5, who is in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 6 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 7 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 8 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 9 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 10 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 11 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Final vote electronically. The vote is open. And it is nearly closed. Closed. And it is adopted. We vote on EMA. Amendment 1 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 2 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 3 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 4 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 5 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 6 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 7 with an oral amendment. Do you accept the oral amendment? Yes, then we vote on this 7 with the oral amendment. Who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 8 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 9 has also an oral amendment. Do you accept the oral amendment? Yes, so we vote 9 with oral amendment. In favor, against, abstentions, check 9 with oral amendment. The vote is open. And it is nearly closed, or closed. It is rejected. And final vote. Electronically. And it is close the vote, and it is adopted. Discharge EFSA. Amendment 1 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 2 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 3 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 4 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 5 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 6 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 7 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 8 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 10 in favor. I'm sorry? 8. I didn't vote. I didn't put 8 to the vote.
Yes, you did. You said rejected and they said adopted.
Ah, okay. Let's do again Amendment 8. Maybe I was a bit confused. So 8 in favor, totally adopted. 10 in favor, against, check 10. The vote is open. And is closed. And it is adopted. 9 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Final vote electronically. The vote is open. And it is closed. And it is adopted. Now we move to ACDC, ACDC, not ACDC. Amendment 1 in favor, against, abstentions. Amendment 1 in favor, against, abstentions, check. The vote is open and it's closed. And it's adopted. 2 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 3 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 4 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 5 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 6 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. Final vote electronically. The vote is open and it's closed. And it's adopted. Now we vote on EEA. Amendment 1 in favor, against, check. The vote is open. And it is closed. Rejected. 2 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 3 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 4 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 5 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 6 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Final vote electronically. The vote is open. And it's closed. And it is adopted. Now we move to ECA. Amendment 1, who is in favor? Against, abstentions adopted. 2 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. 3 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 4 in favor, against, abstentions, check. 4. You're checking 4, yeah? The vote is open. And it is closed. And it is rejected. 5 in favor, against, abstentions rejected. 6 in favor, against, abstentions adopted. Final vote electronically. The vote is open. That's it? I just got used. Vote is closed and it is adopted. And apparently the voting session is over.
Finally.
So thank you very much for your cooperation and understanding. As you know, Madame Biankowska was asked to reply written, and then so this finishes the session for today.